Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. January, February, typically the coldest months of the year, especially in the Northern Hemisphere. So if you're looking for a winter jacket that is designed purposely for sub-zero temperatures, especially comfortability in some sub-zero temperatures, Snugpak have you covered. Now there's actually two coats here. They may look the same, and as far as Mrs. Moorlander was concerned, and I said, oh, just think of these jackets, she's like, they're exactly the same. So what I thought was it would be useful to have a look at these, the similarities, which there are many, and the subtle differences between the two of them. So what we have here in my hand, this is the Verglas 6. Now, I hope I've said that right, Verglas. I guess that's how it's pronounced, but someone might go, well, it's actually Verglas. Well, okay, Verglas 6, and the one that I'm currently wearing, this is the Glacier 9, and these are both from a British company called Snugpak, which I'm sure you all know. You've seen the thumbnail and the name, and everybody knows it. Hopefully, everybody knows who Snugpak are. Now, as far as these jackets are concerned, just an extra note on this. I mentioned a British company. So Snugpak have kind of two ranges. So they have a made here in the UK range, and then often they have a version of whatever that jacket is that's made outside of the UK. Both of these jackets, the Verglas and the Glacier, these are UK made jackets. So if you're after supporting UK manufacturers and UK companies, this is certainly a great way to do that. Now, before we start as well, as I usually do, just if you're wondering about sizes, I would say that the sizes on the website are accurate. For me, I'm 5'10", I've got a 46-inch chest, a 35-inch waist, I weigh about just less than 15 stone, that's about 95 kilos kind of, and sorry, where I was going to go with that. So sorry, these are both in the extra large. And they fit as they should do. So today I'm just wearing a t-shirt, I've got a flannel underneath here, and I have these jackets on. Yeah, they're great. So if you're concerned about the actual sizes, have a look on the website. I've found that the sizes are accurate for me. Now, getting into the similarities, because there are a lot of similarities between the two, and at a glance, here I'm wearing the Glacier. If I take the Glacier off and put the Verglas on, you'll probably think, yeah, these really do look like the same coat or the same jacket. So, similarities wise, as far as the materials are concerned, they're both made with the same material. So on the outside, these are made with Gore-tex Light, which is a nice material. It's good. It's reasonably breathable as well. When you've got this on, you can get hot. We'll go through some kind of real-world testing that I've done with these, but you can get hot. But it's good to say that there is a reasonable level of breathability through this as well. So. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, on the outside it's Gore-tex Light, on the inside it's Gore-tex Micro. Now you might have heard both of those two names before, because if you've ever had or used one of Snugpak's sleeping bags, it's the same material. Really what they've done is they've took one of their sleeping bags, their softy sleeping bags, and they've pretty much just turned it into a jacket. The materials are exactly the same. And using that analogy of it's a sleeping bag being made into a coat, the insulation in both of these uses their Softy Premium, which is the same insulation that they use in their sleeping bags and their elite bags. So if you're concerned about being cold in these, you certainly don't need to be concerned about being cold in these. Now, as far as the temperatures are concerned, this is one of the differences between the two. So the Glacier itself, which is the one that I have in my hand at this moment in time, this is rated for the lowest temperatures. At a comfortable level, it's designed for kind of down to about minus 10 degrees C, but you can go down to about minus 15. Now, if you've seen my live streams, I work from my garden shed. Last week, or the week that's just gone, I was wearing this whilst working in my shed. I recorded the lowest temperature in my shed was minus 8, and I was wearing this with pretty much what I was wearing now, and I didn't really have to add anything more to that, and I was definitely comfortable, and with a beanie as well, just to keep my head warm. Well, yeah, so minus 10, minus 15 you can go to at the lowest. That's kind of what it's rated for. Whereas with the Verglas, the insulation in the Glacier is a little bit thicker, a little bit more padded. With the Verglas, the comfortable kind of temperature that you can go down to with this is about minus 5, but you can go down to about minus 10 where you will start to feel the cold a little bit more. So of the two of them, although they have similar materials as far as the construction is concerned, the Glacier, you can go down to colder temperatures to be comfortable in this, and the Verglas is not as cold. But the difference between the two there is, though, that when I put the Verglas on, it's not as bulky. Now, as far as the bulkiness is concerned, I mean, they're not particularly bulky jackets, but because there is less insulation in the Verglas, then it's not as bulky as the Glacier. I've probably over gilded the lily on that one, but you know, hopefully that makes sense. To go to lower temperatures, they need to put more into this one. Now, both of these do come with a stuff sack. So if I just put that down for a second, in the chest pocket here, when you get both of these, they do come with a stuff sack. So if you did want to take this off, stuff this into here, then you could do. If you're wondering how small these go when they are compacted, especially if you're thinking of putting these into your backpack for whatever reason, then that's the rough size that you can get this down to. Now, what I will say is, though, it's just a stuff sack. If you've got a compression bag that's roughly that size, put it in the compression bag. That's one thing that I will say with this, because the stuff sack is great, but you're just stuffing it in there. With a compression bag, you can ratchet those sides on, and you can actually get them down a little bit smaller than you would do if you just put it into the stuff sack. Now, as far as the colours are concerned, hopefully you'll see, and this is where Mrs. Moorlander was like, oh, they're just the same jacket. So this is in blue and grey. The outside has this nice kind of blue colour, that's a strange thing to refer to it as, and then on the inside it's grey. All of your zips on here, there are 3 zips, am I right? There are 3 zips. There's the main zip, similar to this one on the Verglas. So there's the main zip here on the front, you have an inside pocket here, and then you have an outside pocket. There's 2 pockets down here, there's 5 zips, and then you have 2 pockets here. Now, as I mentioned, so these are exactly the same as far as the pocket layouts are concerned. So I'll just show you here on the Verglas at the moment, but they are the same on the Glacier. So the zip on the front of here is a full zip, YKK, nice and buttery smooth, zips up to the top, comes up to my chin. Now with the Verglas, something in me now wants to keep saying Verglas. So this has a reasonably high collar, so when you're out and you're doing whatever it is, then it keeps your neck nice and warm. Behind the collar, in the collar itself, there is a fold-away hood for, you know, keeping the wind away from your head. You do have a little beard protector here at the top. Hopefully you'll see, so where the hem of this comes down, it does ride reasonably low, so keeping your bum warm, especially if you're out walking and you're wearing a backpack, then it will keep your bum and it'll keep the top of your legs warm. With the backpack, I will say, in fact I'll show you a video here, so where it goes, it just sits kind of over these pockets as well, so you can still get access to both of these pockets, and they are zip pockets as well. And they're nice and large, so I can fit my gloves in here, I can fit my beanie in here. I couldn't fit a map in here, but anything that kind of, for, you know, whilst you're out walking you need to put your keys in here, whatever it is. I'm actually really warm right now. Then you can put in. I'm going to take that off. Wow, probably got steam coming off. I've got steam coming off, so I probably have done. Yeah, so they are the exterior pockets at your waist. There is also a chest pocket, which you've seen me putting this stuff sack in and out of. The one thing, and if I could offer any feedback to Snugpak on that I would change about this pocket, is it's not particularly big. So if I put my hand in there, it's about the length of my fingers, which is roughly the size of a mobile phone. So being able to get my mobile phone in here, it fits, but I'm not going to be able to fit a lot more in there. If it is that maybe I wanted to put something in here, maybe I'd got a beanie, I got some gloves or something like that, you know, rather than having, because you're walking, you've got a waist belt on, maybe you want a larger pocket. It's not, again, like I say a lot of the time, it's more of an observation, but if there was anything that I could change, I'd just make this pocket ever so slightly bigger. That's not because it's too small, but if it's just a little bit bigger, then I could probably fit a little bit more into there. Now, they're the external pockets on the Verglas. I'm going to put on the Glacier now, and hopefully you'll see that they're exactly the same, because then we can talk about the internal pocket ever so quickly, because there's just the one. So with this on now, same big zip on the front. What I didn't mention on the Verglas is exactly the same here on the Glacier, is the fact, so the Glacier comes up to the top again, nice high collar on this. One of the differences with the Glacier is, rather than having a stowaway hood, this has an actual kind of dedicated proper hood, I guess you'd call. All the same material, and when you've got this on, it really does instantly, you can feel the warmth from this. You do have some adjustment, so you can adjust this here at the front to keep it kind of closer to your face. And there's also some adjustment at the back as well, so that you can kind of, again, pull it closer to your head. If you were doing something and you needed to track your head when you'd got these and they're adjusted down, at the moment they're not, but when you have those kind of cinched in, it will track your head if you need it to. Now, the Glacier and the Verglas have exactly the same feature. So as I mentioned, the hem at the bottom of here is reasonably low. So if you're trying to climb around, if you're doing a bit of bushwhacking like you're doing here, or more importantly, getting in and out of vehicles, you will find that this is a little restricting, because you know you've got to climb in there. But they've clearly thought about that, because you do have a double zip on both of these, the Verglas and the Glacier. I forgot what this is called then for a second. You have this double zip. This is really good, especially, as I mentioned, getting in and out of cars. It can be a bit of a pain when it goes all the way down. So yes, so you do have that option there. Now with both of these, they do have an internal pocket here on the left hand side, which is great for right-handed people like myself. Unfortunately there isn't one on the right hand side, so you left-handed folk are, well, yeah, anyway. The pocket on this one though, this one is massive. It really is, it's huge. In fact, if I can get to the bottom of it, so it goes, so here's the opening, and I actually can feel the bottom of the lining here. So that's a good 12-inch pocket, which if you do need to put a beanie in, you need to put a hat in, then it will fit in here. If you have an OS map, you have to kind of just get it right to get it in, but an OS map will fit into this as well. So maybe that was Snugpak's idea, whereas you can use this pocket on the inside rather than this one on the outside. with the Glacier, this pocket again, so at the moment I have my little stuff sack in here. This pocket is I've got my notes. The last time I went out and I was doing some flashlight stuff, I've got my notes in here as well. Yeah, so this pocket again, if it could just be a little bit bigger, I think that would definitely help. I'll put those back in because I'll leave these out here now. I don't want to mess up my woods. Leave it as you found it. That's how I like to be. On the inside of the zip, on both of these, there is a bit of a baffle in here which will stop any wind coming through. Now, as far as the pockets on the outside are concerned, that's kind of it. Pockets on the inside, that is, you know, generally it. The hem on here, there is a toggle on here on both sides, and that is the same on the Verglas and on the Glacier here. So if you do need to kind of pull it in a little bit more around your legs to stop some of that wind from blowing up, then you can do. Both of these, as far as the sleeves are concerned, are the same. So there's no bicep pockets. I don't feel that this is a jacket that needs a bicep pocket, so I'm more than happy with that. And then when it comes to your cuffs, if I just pick up the Verglas here, so your cuffs, if I put so you have a thumb hole. Oh, I just realised I was out of frame then for a second. You do have thumb holes. These keep your hands up to your knuckles nice and warm, and I will say, because of the insulation in your arms, I've not had to wear my gloves as much with these. The blood coming through to my hands is piping hot. But what they also have is, so on the inside, let me pull. This is weird. It's not designed to be pulled through like this. So you have an elastic cuff within the inside of this. So when you put it on, you have this cuff here, and then you have this just area inside. So if you need to, maybe like you've got your wristwatch on, then you can put your wristwatch past that internal cuff. So like I have it now, you can still lift this up and it will stop any snow, it'll stop any wind, it'll stop any cold from getting up into your sleeve, that it has that internal one. Now, as far as sleeves are concerned, they're reasonably long sleeves, which again, I don't mind for an outdoor coat. There's nothing worse than putting your backpack on, your rucksack on, and then your sleeves kind of ride up because they're just not long enough. Because they have the thumb holes in here, it has to be designed to be an inch or two longer so that you can put your thumb in there and you don't feel all kind of weird with it. So yeah, I certainly appreciate that. Now, as far as, again, so I mean, that's kind of it for the two of them. Well, I suppose on paper you can see that they're definitely different. One's got a dedicated hood, one's got a fold-away hood that just fits inside here. By the way, sorry, I didn't mention. So the fold-away hood itself, it's not. I don't think it's insulated. It's two layers. So you have the outer Paratex Light, and then you have the inner Paratex Micro. It doesn't feel insulated, but on the times that I've been wearing this, I've generally not needed it to be that, because I've had a beanie on, and yeah, it's just been good for keeping the wind away from my head. Just the fact that you can keep the wind away from that kind of wind chill factor does a lot. So it depends on whether you want a hoodie, whether you want a dedicated hood or whether you want a hood that stows away. And really the big difference then comes down to the temperatures. Comfortable down to -5, you can go down to -10. Comfortable down to -10, but you can go down to -15 C so the Verglas -5 comfortable, the Glacier is -10 comfortable. Now, I skipped a bit that I always do at the beginning as far as real world testing is concerned. So both of these, I'd like to think that I've real world tested. Some of that has been on a Saturday afternoon. I go and watch my daughter play football and I've been wearing this. The temperatures have got down to kind of 1 or 2 degrees, and just with a t-shirt on underneath here, then I've been fine. Today, before I got out of my car, the thing on the car, the temperature was saying that it's -3 today. I'm genuinely really warm in this. I had to take my beanie off because of how warm I am. Now at the moment I am wearing the Glacier, which is, you can definitely feel the difference in those. Whereas even still wearing the Verglas, I am still lovely and warm. I've done a few walks with these as well, so I've had these now for about 4, maybe 5 months. Part of that was through August, which these were just way too hot for August. But coming into, I can't get my arm in this bloody sleeve. Coming into autumn, coming into the winter, especially now that we're in January, you can feel the difference between the two. With this one, although I'm still lovely and warm, it's not as bulky. But again, that's not that bulky is a bad thing, but this one it just feels a little bit lighter. But I'm not going to be able to go as cold with this. So yeah, I've done that. I've done some nice walks. What I have found with walks is that the Verglas is better. I run very hot. So what I found is with a couple of walks is that I had to take an extra layer off underneath. I just got too many layers on. So I took a layer off, so I just got like a base layer on underneath, and this was great. It's good that you can go out and you can pull the front up, you can zip it up. Which is exactly the same with both of these. You can open that out, so it's good ways in which you can help to regulate your temperatures. Unfortunately, there are no armpit zips, which, observation, it's not a positive, it's not a negative, it's just an observation. Some people are like, I do like armpit zips. I think with these are designed to keep you as warm as possible in cold situations. So I can see the rationale behind not putting armpit zips onto them. But then saying that, I know that Snugpak have other similar jackets that are designed to have more control of that if you're out and it is cold but you're doing a lot of kind of strenuous activities. So it might be that either the Verglas or the Glacier aren't the jacket for you, but I guarantee that Snugpak will have one that, you know, suits your needs. So there you go. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, January, February, especially here in the Northern Hemisphere, they are the coldest months of the year. So having a decent, trusted British made jacket really does help. And whether you're after very cold temperatures or whether you're just after, you know, still cold temperatures, the Glacier and the Verglas, however you want to, why am I still saying Verglas? The Glacier 9 and the Verglas 6 will yeah, certainly be the jacket for you. Now, full disclosure, these were sent to me by Snugpak. I've worked with Snugpak on a few pieces of content now and have a great relationship with them. All they said was, Randy, we just want some honest content. If there's anything that you don't like about them, anything that you'd change, you know, I'm free to give my honest opinion, and I have done. You know, there's this little pocket here, but other than that, I don't think there's anything that I would change. They could give you a compression pack instead of a stuff sack, but I mean, I am genuinely picking stupid faults there. Other than this pocket being a little bit larger, I think these are both great jackets. They're good for getting out into the cold. These are probably more everyday jackets. That's probably the most that I'd take from this, that these are more kind of everyday jackets. But again, if you're out something that you need to go and do some bushwhacking, you need to do some kind of strenuous stuff with them, Snugpak can definitely have you covered with that. So yeah, so full disclosure, these were sent to me, but under the understanding that I'm allowed to make the content that I want to make on both of these. Now, of course, I'll leave some links below so you can see where you can pick up the the Glacier. I've so been struggling with the names today. So where you can see where you can pick up the Glacier or the Verglas, I'll leave those links below. I'll leave some of my social media links below as well, so you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC and my sister channel, Moorlander Tactical. I'm going to be away in Germany in a few weeks. We've got Enforce Tac that I'm going to be doing with the EPIG group guys, absolutely amazing fellas. And then straight after that is IWA, so there's going to be quite a bit out between Moorlander EDC and Moorlander Tactical. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. It's cold today. Let's just check that we're all plugged in. You have to triple check. You have to triple check. Because you get home, you realise there's no audio, bosh! Straight to the testicles. Stupid, you should have checked. So I checked. Oh, I rambled a little bit too much towards the end there, but it'd be right. It'd be right. What is it? It's Verglas 6, Glacier 9. 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 Warm. Don't even need a hat, which I do usually need. Anyway. I'm not sure what day this... in fact, I think I do know what day this is coming out. I think this is coming out on the Sunday. Again, like I usually do, I'm filming several pieces of content today whilst I'm out. Yeah, I hope you're good. Europe has been swept over by all of this white stuff falling from the sky. I know you guys have had it a little bit thicker on the continent than we've had it here in the UK. Kingdom, the Moorlands, as you know, we're hearty outdoors folk, so we're dealing with it better than the English are. But yeah, I hope you are good. Happy New Year. Here's to 2026, and yeah, I'll see you all soon. I'm going to turn the camera off now.